Hi there. Welcome to the Daily Briefing. It's Wednesday, May 27th, and you're listening to our special program that airs on KLAM and KCDV in the 1 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. hours, and then is archived to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Cordova TV. We had hoped to be able to visit with Mayor Koplin for this one, but he had to take a call. Actually, he had a call run over right up about until the time that the council meeting was going to start. So we won't be able to visit with him. If you're hearing the 1 p.m. version of this, that council meeting is probably still underway, and if you're hearing this at 5 or at 8, it's over, but should be archived on the YouTube channels for the city and ours. So what we're going to do today is focus on some information from Dr. Rush, one of our local doctors here, and provide a local perspective, if you will, on this idea of expanding your contacts in very careful form from the mode that we've been in, which is that you shouldn't have contact with anybody that isn't in your household. Moving from that to what Dr. Zink said back on about May 15th, when it was deemed to be safe to expand that some, but with very, very careful considerations. And Dr. Rush wrote a great piece that I really enjoyed when I first saw it. We talked about it this morning, actually, on the talk show. It was part of that program. But since we can't visit with Mayor Koplin, we thought this might be a good subject because being able to socialize with other people is something that's been on a lot of folks' mind. And she wrote some of this tongue-in-cheek, had a little fun with it in the beginning, but it gets progressively more serious, and all of it is good information, regardless of which section of the tone it is. So let's take a look at this here. Again, this is Dr. Rush on expanding your bubble safely, or double bubbling. That's a new terminology for easing up on the restrictions of isolating within your designated family circle or bubble. Some also call it quarantining. Up to this point, Alaska has been in a phase where family units or roommates, people in the same household, were encouraged to stay within their immediate unit and stay in social isolation from other households. The state has now moved beyond that, and the Alaska Department of Health and Social Services, as of May 15th, deemed it safe to cautiously expand your bubble to a single other family. That means that your child can officially have play dates again without looking over their shoulder for the quarantine police. It also means that two families in a quarantine would not really need to wear masks or social distance. But, and there's always a but these days, it does not mean that you can start having play dates or women's night out with multiple kids or BFFs. To be clear, double bubbling means just that. You pick one family that you can socialize with in any setting, in your house, in their car, on your boat, or in the bar. It doesn't mean that you pick another bubble every week and make it your new bubble. It doesn't mean that each of your 5 children joins a different family bubble. And it certainly doesn't mean that you jump in with 3 or 4 different bubbles at the same time. Minimize the bubble baths, as it were. Now, Dr. Rush goes on to say, although I'm writing the above in a lighthearted manner, I want to be very clear that the stakes of expanding our social contacts are deadly serious. It's possible that if we don't continue to follow the recommendations of Dr. Zink and the DHSS, we could see a resurgence of the virus with very dire consequences. Expanding your bubble means that you don't have to wear masks within the 2-family or 2-friend units. But if you're gathering with multiple families or in a restaurant or a bar with your bubble double, you should still wear a mask and follow social distancing, practice frequent hand washing, avoid touching surfaces, and avoid touching your face and eyes. This is a crucial time for Alaska and Cordova. If we see a major jump in cases, we likely will need to go back to a stricter social isolation protocol again. It's also advised that the vulnerable elderly, those in high-risk professions, or those who have high-risk conditions carefully consider the risks before expanding their bubble for obvious reasons. So let's do this right so we can continue to move forward safely. But in the meantime, pick your bubble wisely, because you could be together for a while. Dr. Rush then goes on to highlight that there are some assets available on the state page, sort of a chart that you can use to help you formulate this. And then she concludes by saying, Cordova has done an amazing job at hunkering down and preventing the emergence of community-spread disease. As we move into these new phases, it's more important than ever to continue to follow the recommendations to keep our community healthy and disease-free. So our thanks to Dr. Rush for sharing that letter. It's been circulating around on Facebook some. I think it comes out in the paper this Friday if you want to be able to read it for yourself. But it was good information we wanted to share with you here, since we weren't able to visit with Mayor Koplin because he's very busy getting ready for the council meeting today, which is not helped by the fact that he's on constant phone calls. So we hope this was of some value to you. Again, daily briefings, usually with a member of the incident management team, typically the mayor. These come to you in the 1 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. hours on KLAM and KCDV. They can be heard from the archive at youtube.com/Cordova TV. Too many websites. youtube.com/Cordova TV. Thanks again to Robbie for creating that for us. And we will resume regular programming now for you on the Clam and the Eagle.